What is good, my beautiful individuals? It is Rain Cruz. You're here today on the app for another special episode of In the Cut. We're here for episode 4. Got my boy Jay Moses running it with me. Got the whole camera crew, and we got our boy Borna right over here. What's good, bro?
Sir.
How are you, dog?
Man? How you doing?
Thanks for coming through today.
Coming
for the app, you know. We're super hyped to have you on this, bro. Like for the past 3 episodes, we've been talking to some amazing creatives who are, you know, in the cut. And why we call it In the Cut is because there's these hidden gems in our city's atmosphere, you know, in our creative industry as well, and we kind of just want to shine light and shine like perspective, because everything in this world, I believe, is like filtered off of perspective, you know, and like just sharing perspective and being around like-minded individuals really helps create the atmosphere. So we welcome you to the show, bro, and we're really like excited just to dive deep in your mind, G. So
my man,
yeah, bro, thank you, my G.
I know you're usually behind the camera, directing, creative stuff. Now you're in front. How's it feel, first of all? How's it feel?
Outside my bag, but yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to talk to you guys specifically. Like, you guys got a good platform. I like what you guys are doing.
Appreciate you, my guy.
Line looks fire.
Appreciate you,
I need some of that.
Yeah,
but
restock coming soon. What Rain said is shining some light on, you know, the hidden gems and everything. Let's shine some light on you, bro. You know, you prepared for this question. Who is Borna? You know what I'm saying? For the viewers at home who might not know who you are, or those who are familiar, have seen your name around. Who are you, bro?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm just like someone who's interested in the things that make people think, you know what I mean? And like what resonates with people. I'm interested in how people connect to the outside world. And I like to, you know, hone in on that and get the, like cultivate it, develop it, create it, present it. Yeah. That's my bag, bro. Yeah.
Nice. I mean, that was not an answer I was expecting.
Dude.
What are some, when you're in that creative process, when you're making, you know, the visuals, or at least just drawing inspiration from, I guess that's the question. Where do you even draw your inspiration from? Is it your past, or is it some things around you?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just my surroundings, really, you know, people I'm around, the guys I create with, you know. But yeah, I'm a graphic designer by trade, and I focus on branding specifically.
Word.
And within that, you know, I have my industries that I focus on: music, fashion, cannabis when I was in my freelance space. But right now I'm with Aritzia on the creative team.
Right.
Yeah, man, just took a couple of turns to get here, and figured that's what we were coming to talk about.
Yeah. Exactly it. You're segueing into the next thing.
Yeah.
Like, let's talk about those different turns that you had to take before you got to where you are now. Like, how'd you get started? How's the journey been so far? And just walk us through it.
Yeah, man. I mean, shit. When I start with design, I think probably way back when I was about 11, probably when I started a MySpace page.
Word.
You know, that's when I take it back to, because that's when I really actually got in that space at all. Because I just, you know, you make the page, and then you're like, what's next?
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, I'm gonna put a background on this shit.
Yeah.
And then you start figuring that out.
The song that plays automatically.
Exactly. You start customizing that. You know, and it's funny just because when I start thinking about, like, when I started thinking of like this branding mindset that I'm in these days, it really started back then, just kind of picking up on how people, like I said, connect to the world and what they show themselves.
That's intuitive, bro.
And I know that's like, you know, that goes way back. It gets a little deep, but I mean, it started kind of getting familiar with that, and like really just understanding, you know, composition, layout.
Yeah. The more technical stuff.
Yeah, just like, and really I was just trying to do whatever I could to spend time on those softwares like Photoshop and then man, like basically I spent time on Photoshop as a kid, and then I basically ditched that around grade 9 when I started rapping myself.
Word.
Yeah, just
are there some tracks out there?
They're erased scrubbed them from the internet, bro. But I just like to mess around with shit, and like, but you know, I was in the position where we filmed a couple of videos and stuff, so got a little perspective on that.
Yeah.
And then but yeah, and then I kind of, you know, graphic design wasn't really a thing back then.
Yeah.
And it wasn't something I was like practicing at all. But As far as like Photoshop stuff went, like I was just like, you know, edit my report card or the homie's report card. I used to do that shit. Of course, it's too easy. Once you know,
it's too
a couple
easy.
things,
bro. It's too easy.
It's too easy to put yourself in a good position.
We're giving free game out there right now, but it's too easy. I'm gonna run you through a quick story. I photoshopped my way out of a gym membership.
Oh damn.
Yeah. That's crazy. So like I was like 19, maybe even 18 still. Just came out of high school. And I'm not gonna name drop the gym, but they had like this contest where you could win like I think it was maybe a membership or like a free 7-day trial or whatever. I signed up for it. Next thing you know, I walked out of that gym with a membership, and it was a year contract. I'm like 18, bro. I'm like, how am I gonna pay for this? I already have other bills to pay for, right? So I was like, I went in. I was like, how can I get this canceled? And they're like, you either can't physically go to the gym anymore, or you leave the country.
Right.
So I photoshopped an acceptance letter to Oklahoma State University.
No way. That's hilarious.
And then I went there and I said, yo, I can't come here anymore. I'm leaving the country next week. And I said, okay. And then boom, canceled. Or else they would have dinged me for the cancellation fee and shit. I'm like, I'm gonna pay you $300.
That's called finesse, bro.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying, yo.
None major, just like little life hacks or whatever like that. And then design didn't come really back around for me until I was at in my bachelor's degree.
Word.
Because out of high school I thought I was gonna go into sciences and do this whole route that my parents kind of
laid out for you.
Not even laid out, because they weren't even like super pushy about it and stuff like that. But there's definitely a bit of an immigrant mindset. You know, there's like a risk adversity thing going on there.
Yeah.
And they just had like certain ideas that they thought maybe I should be a part of, and I explored them. You know, I did my bachelor's degree in criminology. And I was interested. You know, I fully was actually into it.
Word.
Like I said, like the base of what makes
nice.
On the table, guys.
Nice. let's pan the camera that way.
Yo, literally collapsed, bro. Of course it's me.
You're fucking yoked, buddy. That's why.
Because you're fucking 300 pounds of muscle. That's why. Lock it. Yo, watch the key.
We good. Keep it running.
That's what happens on the app. On the app. Just another day on the app.
That makes it even better.
look up.
Shit, back to what we were talking about, bro. Yeah, you were just trying out what your parents
man, school and shit. And that man, school was cool.
How'd you finally come to that point where it's like, no, I'm gonna do what I'm doing now?
Yeah, so when I was finishing my bachelor's degree,
yeah,
I had to take an elective, and I took some like design course that was randomly offered.
Yeah,
and it was cool because I was like, oh shit, there's actually programs for this kind of thing.
Yeah,
like the stuff that I was just messing around on my own time with.
Back then,
and I was like, oh okay, there's proper ways to, obviously, but like I just never considered it as seriously.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I just took this class, and then I was like, okay, I can probably start doing like, I don't know, I just got back into it. And I just got into like, I was designing doing a lot of freelance, like small businesses, construction companies, like random, bro. Like
random shit.
Did like a private goalie coach for soccer, made his website. Like, bro, I did like hundreds of sites. Like that's where I got my 10,000 hours, so to say. You know what I mean? I put my time in there. But like I was always looking for the opportunities that were a little bit more in my lane. Yeah. How to align
things that sparked your
creativity. Man, just like, and like obviously I was working with the homies doing the creative direction, and at that time basically, so man, when I stopped making music myself, I was like a little bit out of high school, whatever. Yeah. But I was just like, I had a very conscious realization that, I'm actually what I'm really interested about with this music shit is what happens behind the scenes, what happens before the music's even necessarily made. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like, I guess that's really the artist development process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, and so yeah, man, just coming up when I came up with that, when I really realized that and tapped into that, then it's when it all kind of started, man. And I was like working with a couple artists back then, and you know, it's the same guys I was working with right now too. But yeah, man, like basically after sorry, bro, I just lost my train of thought.
No, you're good, bro.
There's just a few things I'm trying to reel in
Not
on.
miss.
You know
Yeah.
Because when I was in SFU, my first year, I started a clothing line.
Word.
It's called Haiku. The way I came about it was I always had this idea for a creative collective under the name of High Culture.
Word.
And Haiku is like, okay, this would be the fashion line of this like creative collective, you know. So I took the first two letters of High Culture, Haiku.
That's fire.
And then that basically we worked on a fashion line for a while. It was cool, man. The city loved it. And at the same time, I would like leverage the artists that I was around, that were part of just like my other creative processes. I used them as models, and you know, they were just the
everything just ties in together.
Tied them into the brand, and just because that was what was easy, and you know, it's just real to me. You know, that's who I was around all day. So, but yeah, man, and then we kind of fell back from that for a little bit, just because I had to get a foothold with the rest of my creative endeavors and whatnot. It's about the time that I kind of got serious about it. Instead of moving with that school path, I rerouted a bit and I went to art school. I went to Emily Carr for a bit and did a program there. That was a weird time, just because, you know, I'm trying to figure out what I'm, you know, every day you look at yourself and you're like, what am I really going to do?
Yeah.
Bro, like, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? You start thinking about your whole life at once, which is like the worst thing you could do.
It's scary too.
It's scary, man.
That shit is scary when it just rushes at you.
Yeah, definitely. So, but yeah, I spent a few months like that, but I was also kind of just like getting myself together. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's funny because like putting my portfolio together gave me a lot of clarity. Yeah. You know, it's probably just the designer in me, but it gives me kind of clarity of where I want to be, how to get there. You really got to like look at yourself hard, you know? Yeah. But yeah, man, basically I got my shit together, and I went through a couple humbling interviews. I got shit on.
Yo,
you know,
I can relate.
Yeah, for sure.
I can relate.
And it's but when Aritzia hit me up, it was blessed, because I always tell the story.
They hit you up.
I mean, I applied, but man, I was applying to so many places at the time. I was just like, you know,
something's gotta stick.
Yeah, and to be honest, I wasn't really hanging on to Aritzia, like, cause like I said, I was applying to so many places. Yeah, and not necessarily like dope fashion company like Aritzia. You know, it was like, bro, like little marketing agencies and whatnot. You know, and I was really just like kind of worried about my sauce, bro. You know what I mean? I'm like, is anyone really gonna tap into it? Because I feel like there's something there. And I was just like, you know, when I was talking about my whole life on my mind, it's like I'm thinking about my, you know, this wasn't the plan for me. This wasn't the trajectory that was set out for me or thought of that I should be taking. And I really defied a lot of people to do that. But I was just, you know, it was important to me. And I really wanted to land my first like career gig somewhere in a trajectory that I felt like was something I actually wanted to do.
Finally lined up to what you wanted to do.
Facts, So, man, I was at this like marketing, like small business group, and they were, you know, I had to like give a little presentation about myself, but it really just like I put myself in perspective, because I was like, man, like this is, you know, you wanted to do graphic design, bro, like this is it, you know what I mean? Like,
was it really?
This is real. This is the reality of it. And I'm like, I don't know, it's kind of getting real, and there's nothing not to like talk down on that. There's nothing wrong with working with like smaller companies or whatever. I love that startup grind. That's why I was my freelance stuff. Like I was saying, like I worked on a lot of random, like little businesses, startups really. Yeah. And I love that, but I was just really thirsty for like working with a team and working with people that have experience in my lane, you know, and thankfully that's exactly what I got at Aritzia. I was saying that like my interview, going to all these other interviews before, I was like really stiff, you know, I was just like in a stiff kind of headspace. Yeah. Like how do I want to present myself and stuff. And then my now boss, she walked in and she's just like, yo, and I was like,
done.
What? I was like, that's how we're doing this? Okay. Yeah. And she, you know, she said she's cool, man. She's the homie. Marilise, shout out her.
Shout out Marilise.
But yeah, she just basically that was the first 2 interviews and got locked in, and that was tight, man.
How long has it been now?
2.5 years.
Nice.
Yeah, about that. Right. Went by quick. We spent a year in COVID right now, but
yeah.
I've done some of my best work during COVID. So
no, straight up.
Exactly.
I can relate.
I was saying this in the interview with Hutan, like this COVID shit is just like how the NBA bubble is right now. You know how you know how some of the young guns are like flourishing, like some like unexpected stars are starting to like really bloom and shit. Turn that phone off. I'm just love. But yeah, they're just flourishing in the bubble. It's because now they have no distractions. They can just hone in on their craft and really focus on it. That goes for basically everything else that everybody else wants to do. You want to do graphic design, hone in, go in on Photoshop. You want to go in the studio, lock in, bro. You want to do some videography, you want to film music videos, lock in, bro. People still shooting videos.
Yeah. I mean, there's some real situations in the way for sure. I understand some people are dealing with some real shit right now for sure.
Yeah. Hundo.
It's just kind of, cause like, man, I've been locked into my own bubble too, you know. And
you've been doing you.
Yeah, and it's funny because you get out there and like I've seen you guys and like seeing this many people. Like it's been a minute before I've been in a room with like you know what I mean, chat it up. But
crazy. Fucking. Let's talk about the music side.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the music side. I don't know if you want to name drop some of the artists that you work with.
Narco.
Who you work with right now?
I got a select few that I work with.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dope artists in the city for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I just got to spend my time with a few of them and make sure I see them get to where I think they can go, you know, and also beyond that, obviously. But I feel like there's a couple guys that have just been part of my like foundational like life, you know what I mean? And these guys, I'm fully invested in their stuff.
Nice.
So that's Tashale, that's Mears, Quintana Mills as recently.
Word.
But yeah, man, I mean these guys are guys that like basically I've based my whole trajectory on in a way, like not to put that sort of pressure on them, but it's just like we started something special a long time ago. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, and I just feel like we got to see that through.
We have to,
yeah.
You would almost like hate yourself if you didn't, you know? Because I mean, I'm gonna be. I don't know if I'm the first to say it, but I'll say it. Like you guys really doing some damage in the city. Like you guys making noise, bro.
Man. Yeah,
and I love the sound that's coming out from the guys too.
Yeah,
like, I appreciate that, man. I can't take credit for all that, but
we'll get into what you can take credit for though. Straight up. Yeah. Well, you were gonna say something? I cut you off.
Oh no! I was gonna say that's the guys that I like. You know, I'm locked in with on a daily basis, basically.
Yeah.
But you know. Past few years, like Side was someone that I spent a lot of time with working with.
Yeah.
And before that, man, like Side's the homie. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, when he's ready to do some of his next music shit, I'm gonna be there for that too.
Yeah.
But before that, though, like, you know, it's been a long time before I was able to like choose the guys that I work with, and like also feel like I'm worthy. Cause man, these guys are talented. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I gotta feel like I'm worthy to sit at the table with them too. Mm-hmm. And so just to get to there, and like, you know, we've been growing together. But before I even jumped in on any of their stuff, like I've been refining myself and figuring it out for myself too. Mm-hmm. This past decade, really, man. I've worked with. I mean, I don't know if young guys know him, but yeah. But like Lazyville was a dope artist. I mean, still might be making music, but Stevie Ross, dope artist. Soul kind of R&B vibe, but like also just like a lot of artists. But man, like, you know, artists hit me up all the time asking for like cover art and this and that. But I'm really locked in on with my guys because not just to keep it like a private party here, but it's more just like I'm not just trying to do a one-off cover art for somebody, or
Yeah.
I'm trying to develop.
You're building something.
Yeah, we're building something, man. And it's like we're developing more than just
music and
release.
cover arts. Yeah.
More than a release.
It's more than just a rollout.
Yeah, more than a rollout.
It's nice and it's almost refreshing to see, like, I hate to say the term creative director because it is diluted, but it's nice to see someone in that position have the passion that you do with your artist.
Thank you, man.
Because, like, like a lot of people will take the term creative director and all they're doing is just like, oh, let's do the cover this way. Let's drop it on this day, post on this day, post this story, go on Instagram Live, drop the song, boom. Yeah. Like, that's not really creative directing. You're just directing. You know what I mean? Creative directing is like, you're going to break down the song and then you're going to help them now really take it into visual format. Yeah. And let's tell a story through it. At least that's how I think about it. So it's good to see, like, it's really refreshing to see the thought and the effort that you're putting into it with the guys.
Man. Thank you so much.
And it speaks through the music as well.
Thank you, man. Yeah.
Your team, like what I always say is like your team has to be tuned into that vision just as much as you are. They have to love that vision just as much as you do, because like for me, I was tired of waiting for other producers to like send me beats, and I'm like, yo, like they don't love this as much as I do, so I'm gonna make my own. So all in quarantine, I was locked in making beats, teaching myself how to produce. You know what I mean, G? Because like at the end of the day, it's all about like bringing those real ones around you. Because we're talking about earlier too, like your environment, G, your environment, everyday environment. Shout out Wisdom Club, the shop I'm at every day. My boys are in the back right now. Like those are my day ones. They roll with me. They seen the vision. We work towards this bigger picture every day. You know, and this is why, again, I always say this on every single show. This is why we're doing the ad. This is why we're doing In the Cut, is to bring this community even stronger together, bro. You know what I mean?
Because I need this guy on my team, bro.
That's right, bro. Much love.
He's with the ad. He has a 10-year contract. No.
You should lock him in.
He's locked in. There's a non-contract compete clause.
But yeah, I hear you, man. 100%, bro.
Yeah, brother.
That's just how good things get built. You know
exactly.
I mean?
Exactly.
And yeah, that like when you say being on the same page, that's exactly what it is. Like I'm on the same page with my guys. I know how they want to be presented. I know how they want to be. I can make those decisions for them even if they're not there. You know what I mean? Right. I can see I can make the selects from the photographer.
Yeah, you know and that's like what that's when you know like you're really invested. It's when they're not there, but you'll know
they
which
trust
pick
you.
they
You
want.
know, they pass it off to you. But
it's when you know you're a visionary, bro. You can connect what they see in your head, and that's why I work with Jay. Right. So one of the first things we ever did was like my logo, and my logo is a trident, right? And like right away, he just knew the vision that I wanted without me saying. Like I had to say less.
Right.
He just knew what I wanted right then and there. I was like, yo, that's why we're gonna run it out. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Yeah, he wants to update the logo. I want to update.
What the Av logo?
No,
his
logo.
Like for me, it's like I see myself like your brand is you. You know, truly you. And a lot of people, you need to grow with that. So how I want to like show that in one way is like my trident is my logo. So like whenever you see my stories or anything, it's just like this big purple trident, like trident with purple glow. I want to change it for the seasons, and I also want to change it towards certain albums and certain feels of the song. So the trident will change with the energies that I give out. Because for me, it's like I want to drop every single kind of music. You know what I mean? There's no like for me, creativity never had a genre. Creativity never had a certain like look or whatever. Right. You know what I mean? Creativity is what you want it to be. You know what I mean? You see the world in your own eyes. You know what I mean? And when you were talking about earlier how like you were always so in tune of like you were always so observative of how people saw the world and how people perceive things, right? So that's why I feel like you do so well at what you do. It's because you know how to connect the one and the two. You know how to connect what the people want and what your boys want and bring it to a perfect like little.
It's a good balance.
Yeah, good
man.
balance,
I mean, I try to definitely.
I see it though, bro.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
It's art, G.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
I lost like attention when you said Seasons. Mirror's song Seasons started playing in my head, yo. I was like, I just fucking lost it.
Those 3 beats, right? Those hit different. Yeah.
Those 3 beats is hard. Let's tap into that though, like into what you do with the artists and everything. The visuals, if anybody's seen them who's watching this, like they're fire.
Thank you, man.
So, but a lot of them I've noticed is like the artist is actually the subject in the photo and stuff. Like for a lot of my stuff, a lot of them won't even have me in it.
Right.
But yours, you do have a lot of subjects. Like, I don't know, maybe it's a creative in me that's just reading into that, but like what maybe inspires that or take me through the creative process of that stuff. Even just like Tashali's cover.
Right.
Did you do that too?
Yeah.
That shit was fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, thank you.
So like, walk me through some of those things, bro. Just trying to steal some gems.
Yeah, man. I mean, really, dude. It might have the artist in it. It might not.
Right.
It depends on what the project, on what the release is. But man, I just like my process is definitely like it's obviously you're designing something. It's more of a solution that you're trying to bring to the whole situation. But with this music stuff, like maybe it's a bit of my secret sauce, but it's just like I just get in my bag with it.
Yeah.
And I obsess over this music. Like that's all I listen to.
Fire.
It's all I listen to. Like one day I might only listen to When I was making Borders to Chale cover, like I only listened to Borders for like maybe a month.
Word.
Like,
That's dedication.
It's weird. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
If I'm making something,
I can
barely listen to my song. If I'm gonna make my own cover, I can barely listen to it for like a week straight. A month straight? That's crazy.
Sometimes, but like I just love that song too.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, it just depends on the project, what it is. I really like if it's the music. I gotta listen to it. I'm like big on colors. Like me and Side, for example, we always laugh because like he'll play a song and be like, what color is this? Right.
Me too,
that's what this guy does.
I'm very synesthetic, especially when it comes
that's
to
the word.
Like,
that's what this guy does.
I close my eyes all the time when I perform because I see shapes and colors, and I just like I reflect off that. So that's why that's why I'm in the studio. I have to have a certain color on it just because I really reflect the colors.
My man's an acid trip. That's what
Yeah, no, like there was this one time when I was in the studio, I didn't know what color to choose. It was a King's. He said, yo, what color to choose? I asked Rain, yo, Rain, what color do you see around me? He said he sees auras around people. I can't. But he was like, yo, I see green. So ever since then, I've just been rocking green in the studio. Whatever, you know what I'm saying?
That's safe.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's what he does.
Yeah, man. But yeah, colors are big for me. So like, I just like sit on the song and really just like marinate on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it depends on what it is. Recently, we shot a video for Tashali Joint. And that was a little outside of my usual lane. Just 'cause we were doing that on like green screens and like.
Yeah, like a whole production type.
Yeah,
thing.
man, it's gonna be fire though.
Yeah. When's that coming out?
Not sure.
Oh, word. Just have it in the vault.
I mean,
locked to go.
I got an idea, but I don't want to say much.
Okay, word.
That's not for me to.
Like
yeah.
But
we'll get him on next time.
Yeah, maybe. But the music really like his music is just, man. That's like my life soundtrack.
Word.
And him and Mirrors.
That's sick.
Him
to
and
be able
Mirrors,
to work with
man,
someone who can actually create music
bro,
to
like
your
I'm not playing
life.
like these guys are my favorite artists.
Yeah.
And I feel like I just feel like it's funny. Little hop in my car and I just like was listening to them. And I forget, like, yo, this is the guy that just did this joint, like.
Oh yeah,
I know about to scoop him up, like.
I know what you mean.
It's these relationships, like they're like we were talking earlier about, like just a bit of like a trust factor between them, The relationships are so important when you're working with the artists like that.
Huge.
that need some artists are very specific in particular about how they want to be.
True.
Rolled out and do how they want to be seen and they're branded. It's part of how they see their career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not a joke.
Yeah.
So I take that seriously and I work with these guys and I was talking earlier about Haiku, something that started a while ago. It's a fashion label.
Yeah.
We're bringing that back as more of a as a record label, as a creative collective
with a twist.
Sick. So yeah, check that out. It's gonna come.
Got you.
Yeah.
Link us after, bro.
100%.
Check it out.
We gotta trade some shit.
Yeah. How long have you been working with like just in the music, the whole music thing so far?
I mean, I would say in this space that I'm in right now, since I was about 19.
Yeah, when you I
was working on the homie John Doe. North fan knows him.
Word.
But yeah, John Doe, man, is the homie, and that's kind of who I started this music stuff with. And
so you're like a vet at this point.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm 28 right now, so it's been a decade in the game.
Almost a decade.
But
word. What was that process like right before? I mean, because I think you know where I'm leading with this is like some people would try and do the whole music thing, whether they're the artist or the creative director or something, for a long ass time. Some people will do it in like a year and it'll pop off and shit. How long? I don't know if you can like put an exact number to it, but like how long did it take until you were like, yo, finally I'm in this?
Bro, I don't even know if I'm there yet right now.
Word.
Like I'm in it. Trust me. Like I'm dedicated to this. I mean, I've made my life go in this direction for a reason. And I had to fight certain obstacles to make sure it goes in this direction. Yeah. But it's worth it to me. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm in it. So for better or for worse, wherever it goes, we'll see where it rides.
That's a good mindset to have. It doesn't keep you hungry.
Yeah. I mean, shit.
There was some shit that like Nipsey said. I forgot who sent it to me, but he said like somebody was asking him, when is it? And like, at what point can you say, okay, like I can take a little bit of a longer break? I can go take a vacation. Was it you? You sent me this, I think. Oh, yeah, he was just like, how long? I was like, when's the time where you can say, okay, I can take a little bit of a vacation now? And he just said, honestly, like, I'll never feel like I can't take a vacation. I'm just in this until I can't go no more. It's a marathon. Like, you know what I'm saying?
100%, man.
Empty the tank, yo. Empty the tank. I want to make sure, like, by the time I leave this earth, this existence, because we're not guaranteed tomorrow. We're not guaranteed next week. So today I'm here, and I'm living my existence, and I'm, like, living my truth today. Yeah, bro. You know what I mean? That's all I ever live for, bro. That's what I try to do.
Aura, bro. Aura.
That's the crazy thing about this interview series that we're doing. Yeah. Is like, I don't know if it's going to do 100 views. I don't know if it's going to do 100 million views, but it's going to be up on the internet, and we've cemented that moment at least. Right. Yeah, you know what I mean? So like between us three and everybody else in this room as well, like you're part of history. You know what I'm saying? So like, big up yourself, bro. Yeah, like, and I was telling you this earlier. I was telling you this earlier with Vancouver. It's funny, or isn't it kind of crazy to think how this Renaissance period with the whole creative thing is happening now at the age that we're at, and we're able to take part of it. It could have happened 20, 30 years ago.
There's like the industrial age, the golden era, all those golden age, the bronze age, right? But we're here in this existence to be part of the creative age. Yeah. You know, where creativity and the creatives are the ones that are going to heal the world, bro. Because look, nothing has been working. So it's if it's in my perspective to say something, right, which is, I believe it is, because it's my perspective.
You're entitled to that,
bro. No, exactly. It's just like some of the best music, bro, was created, like, for example, the Beatles, right? It's during times of like war, during times of like where the world really needed strife, right? So I believe within the next like 10 years, if anything, right, some of the most amazing healing music is gonna come out, and creatives are really gonna, you know, start speaking their word, you know.
Yeah, man. I mean, now you saying it, like, culture is what's moving things. You know what I mean? Yeah. Wherever that kind of manifests itself, but it's culture a lot of the time.
Culture is a vehicle that will move.
Yeah,
no, exactly. That's why like a lot of successful businesses, right, are the businesses that have culture behind it.
Exactly.
Seriously, you have to have that culture, because that's what the people are there for. You know what I mean? The energy, the feels.
Have you guys ever came across Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
I've heard of it, but I never looked into it.
It's like what a person needs before they are enlightened, or like self-actualized. Was the word for it.
Is it like the chart? Where it shows like love, peace, like all that stuff?
Not so much that, but it's like foundational needs. Yeah, it's like foundational needs covered.
Okay,
you got your bodily needs covered, or whatever, and you got your like financial needs, whatever, etc. Then you got psychology, and then it's like you got these things covered, and then you're in a position to finally like self-actualize.
Beautiful.
Right, and like dig deep on those like more spiritual tips.
No, exactly.
Find yourself. I feel like some of these like the cities in that in that obviously in a different kind of analogy, but let's use that as an analogy. But like the city right now, as far as its like identity and the music scene goes, it's finding itself. Yeah, and it's
trying to find ourselves.
It's taken a couple steps to have those foundational needs addressed. But then, I mean, it's in the process of finding itself, and like anything, you know what I mean? Whether it be the scene or an artist or whatever.
Yeah. I see it like, is like where our generation is literally kind of like laying, because there was a generation before us, I believe, and they were like shout out like Seko, shout out like all the DJs like from like Marvel OGs. And all those boys, like the homies are there, the OGs in the city, right? Like those were the first like generations of like Vancouver who really kind of put the creative scene on. And like if you think about it, we're only maybe like second or thirds, right? Like if you look at like New York, for example, we bring this up up like almost every episode too. Yeah. It's like Jay-Z, for example. He was one of like the first out there. But looking at the scene now, it's like 11th gen, 12th gen. There's a whole bunch of different artists now that are popping up. So right now we're like the Z's, we're like the Diddy's, we're like the Sense. You know what I mean, G?
Yeah.
Like we're the ones like kind of like paving this way, and that's why it's so important to shed light authentically and real to showcase like what we're about, because we have this window of opportunity to showcase what Vancouver is really about, and this is how I want to show it and like really shed light, because we're a unique city. I always say that, but we are a unique city, and I've traveled the world. I've seen many places, bro. Ever since I was like 5 years old, my parents have been taking me around the world now. So it's a blessed thing, because it's giving me so much perspective. Totally. What I always find myself is always coming back home to Vancouver, because Vancouver is like where my soul is meant to be, and to really like push something out here.
Home base.
Thanks, yeah, home base, baby.
Bro.
I was telling my mans on the way here, we were just driving on the car, and then I was like, we were stopped on Main and Terminal, and then I looked to the left and I just saw BC Place and Science World and everything, like, you know, the typical skyline. Yeah. And I was just like, it quickly crossed my mind. I was like, could you fucking imagine what this place is gonna look like in 5-10 years? Oh, yeah. After what we're doing right now.
No, exactly,
it's
bro.
Gonna be crazy.
Like, some crazy billboards up, app shit. You know what I mean? Like all the day ones and have their billboards up. We're like, yo, we seen this already. We manifested this, dog.
Straight up, man.
But it's hard to see when you're in the moment.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's hard, like, fuck, when is shit gonna pay off?
Right.
And then eventually,
sometimes you're just so lost in the cut.
You're so lost in the cut. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's like that thing though. It's like, you ever seen the? It's like a graphic, like a cartoon, where there's two guys like mining for diamonds, and then this guy's been mining for as long as possible. And if he only hit one more time, he would have hit the diamonds. But he gave up and walked away. The other dude went and hit it. And then, you know, the rest is history. I don't want to be the guy who turns around.
No, exactly, right.
And all next thing you know, I was just, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I just don't want to be that.
Hit away from getting rich.
Maybe that, exactly. But maybe that's also like a mindset where I'm kind of like, fuck, I don't know, like, you might be stuck in that mindset and you're just going to keep going and going and going.
Yeah, bro.
I don't know. I'm just hopefully we get there.
If I'm like still trying to get to that little diamond, if I'm trying to keep going, and like I do that till the end, I'm gone, and then like let's say one day I'm gone from this existence, and somebody else from the next gen hits it, and I'm fine with that. Yeah, because I laid it down. You know, I helped it. I helped.
Thank you. You answered what you answered exactly what I was gonna say next. I knew where you're going with that. I was like, yo, what if I don't ever hit it?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Facts. And that because you know that's the reality of it, bro. It's like, but as long as you feel like you're chasing your purpose, you know, I feel bad for people that never found their purpose.
That's a fact.
No, it's true.
That's really sad to me.
It's devastating to me.
It's really sad, you know, because there's a lot of people, and it's so easy to not find your purpose. It's so easy to not like even like take a minute to yourself and just think just like, what am I into, bro? Like, what am I? What makes me interested? What makes me worth like getting excited waking up for? You know what I mean? But yeah, man. I mean, to find like a purpose and ride out on that note, like that, you'll never regret that.
No, you
That's
won't.
how I feel, at least.
I remember who was talking about that. It was Buck, who we'll have on episode soon. But he said something that's very similar to what you just said. It was on his own Think Space podcast with Self-Hired. Shout out Self-Hired.
Shout out Buck.
Shout out Buck. Shout out Self-Hired for letting us use the space. Yo, it's big love. But basically, what happened was, he said, if you can't even slow down and think about what is my purpose, then you shouldn't even be sleeping. You shouldn't be eating, because that's the most free thing that you can do. Right. Is just sit down for 5-10 minutes or an hour or however long you want to and think about, okay, what's my purpose on life? It's free, bro. Food you have to pay for. You know what I'm saying? Sleep as well. But he's like, yo, if you can't even sit down and do that, then don't do anything else. Figure out what you want to do first. Because, it's sad if you don't. Like, or if you don't even try to. You know what I'm saying?
For real. I mean, some people don't even know the process, bro. Like, where do you even start?
Just be resourceful.
You just start.
Just start.
Exactly. Just be resourceful and start. Ask around. That's what we learned from Garrett in the second one with Jamon. It's just like just be resourceful. Ask around. You know, like it's like yo, we're in an age where everything is available online. I built a whole career off barbering through YouTube. Right. You know what I mean, G? I learned how to produce music off of YouTube. I learned how to edit videos off of YouTube. So just be resourceful and like it just use your resources, dog.
Yeah. Same really here, man. Like I started all this like I wanted to do something. I had an idea. Let's pull up some.
Exactly. I have an idea. How can I do it?
You know what's wild, bro? Is that internet. is like been around for this amount of time, enough time where there's like any question you think of is already answered on Google.
Yeah. Someone already thought it,
bro.
Yeah.
Not only thought it, but they wrote it down on
somebody.
and they put it on some like Quora or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Shout out Quora. Shout out Quora, bro. Shout out Quora.
Shout out YouTube. Those two like shaped my career.
I remember saying in an interview I was talking about, like, I had some humbling interviews when I was looking for a job, and it was funny because I said to someone asked me, have you had any formal training? And this was actually before art school, because I thought maybe I could get into the game before even going to art school. So and I'm like, just the University of YouTube. And I heard that shit somewhere, and I just threw it out there, bro. She was not impressed.
It didn't work.
She's like, that's not.
At least you tried.
She's like, okay. I just saw the whole tone change, you know. The interview just like, she just like kind of closed the binders.
But at least you can see you did it.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
Good story though.
Yeah, that's funny, bro. What's next for you, bro? What are you working on? I don't know.
Man,
you asked this question 2 episodes ago.
Right.
Where do you see yourself in 5-10 years?
Because, like, obviously we can't, like, always, like, see ourselves, like, 5 to 10 years because, you know, like I said earlier, we got to live today and live tomorrow. But, like, if you could see yourself, for me, like, this actually kind of resorts to, like, the bigger picture and, like, your purpose. And it's like we all have this purpose. You know, let's say we find our purpose is to live as an artist. But sometimes people get lost in the sauce and that becomes an ego thing, you know? But then they forget about that bigger picture. That bigger picture is to live your purpose, and, like, to live your worth as an artist, healing while you do what you do. You know what I mean? Inspiring others, relating to others. And that's why some of the best artists are the ones who I've related to, you know? So, like, just resorting back to that is like, my G, what is your bigger picture? Why do you do what you do, G? I know it's a crazy big question, but, like, for me, for example, right, for hair, right, I cut hair not just because I love the creativity of it and I gotta cut hair. I love it because I love people. I love the fact that I gotta care about somebody, and, like, they feel like $1 million after my chair. Because no matter what, if I'm cutting a celebrity or, say, an NBA player, which I've never have done, but I'm saying if I'm ever to cut an NBA player, they sit in your chair, bro. So everything kind of balances out because they're coming to you. You know what I mean? And everything kind of just, like, levels out. That's why I love doing what I'm doing right now too. Just because everything is just, like, we're all, like, I just see everybody here as, like, equals. You know what I mean? As all, like, individuals who are here to learn and grow, you know? So my question for you is, like, yeah, bro, like, why do you truly do what gets you up every morning? Why do you love, like, these homies so much? Why do you put so much into it, bro?
What's your why?
Like I said, man, I feel like reason why I'm even in this space is because I'm just super interested about what people connect with, how people identify with the world. And my purpose with these guys is, man, I just feel like they have so much potential, and I just feel like there's so much we could work on together. And there's a lot of crossover opportunities there that's going to be good to grow. We've already grown so much with each other. But the main reason why that I do this, man, is because I feel like I'm on my own journey, and this is part of it. And this is just part of me helping other people, putting them in position and helping them you know, find themselves in this music stuff, whether it is outside of it. These relationships, man, they're just, like, they're just central to me in my experience. So why do I do what I do, man? I don't know. That's a big one.
You answered it.
You answered it, brother. You answered it.
You gave us your why.
I mean, even with, like, I don't want to get, like, these guys are obviously they're on their own journey with finding themselves and whatnot, but on some base level, I feel like as just doing this branding stuff, I'm always just trying to help someone find who they are, self-action, because you're trying to find your values to put them out there.
Respect.
You know what I mean?
That's respect.
It takes it takes a regular person just to see somebody as they are, but it takes a real one to see what you could become. You know what I mean, G? So, like, respect for that.
Louder,
it takes a different type of person, G. So big shout out to you for that. And big shout out to my mentor, Barbara Marvio. He's, like, seen...
Shout out Marv.
Yeah, shout out Marvio. He's seen me since day one, and he already told me one time when we were talking, we were drunk as fuck. And he was like, bro, I already knew who you would be standing here today, like, when I first hired you when you were 17.
Right.
You know what I mean, G? And that, when he said that to me, I was kind of like, yo, like, that's some real shit, you know? So it takes a real one to really see what you could become.
It's so important to have, like, somebody that can put you on some game.
Facts.
I never had anybody like, I did, but just not in my industry. You know what I mean? And I think that's a really amazing thing that you have.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's fine.
Someone that's a few steps ahead of you in that same lane. But I mean, now that I'm at Aritzia, I got some OGs around, but they definitely have made a huge impression on me.
Bless.
I mean, Mary-Lise herself, she's my boss, and you know, she's a couple steps ahead of where I want to go. So watching her is just always a amazing thing. The homie AB, amazing.
Shout out.
Right, these guys done some crazy work, so it's dope.
Bless, man. Is there anything you wanna ask us or anything? Open table.
Oh
for you.
man, I mean, we were chopping up before.
We were.
So,
Yeah.
I gotta hear you guys' music.
Yeah.
First off,
We got you.
Yeah.
We got you. We'll link.
Can we run it
outside of
right
it.
now, or is that?
You want to run it right now? We'll run it off cam. We'll run it off cam. We'll run it
We'll
off
take it
cam.
offline.
Yeah. No. We not doing that.
Okay. I understand. I'll put them on spot.
There's people in this room who have been asking me for my unreleased because I have like this whole fucking vault.
Yeah.
And they've been bugging the hell out of me.
This guy got a vault.
But I'm just like, and I'll pay it for you, like if you can get in the studio and shit. But like,
I gotta go somewhere.
and I'll send them like 15-second clips on Instagram, and they're like, "Fuck you, give me more." You that guy right there. You that
building value. Man. He's building value for it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You build what's that thing in the 48 laws of power? I think it was like absence. And through absence, you build value.
Build value. There you go.
And that's what I'm doing right now. Absence. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. That's one way to do it.
Yeah, bro. Any other questions? That was a fucking crazy ass.
Yeah, man. I mean, I do have some questions for you guys. Let me flip the script on.
Let's go.
Where you guys? Are you guys from? You guys are both from Van.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I was born in the Philippines, but then I left when I was 4.
Okay.
So all my waking years, when I can even remember stuff, has already started in Van.
That's what's up.
So
I grew up in I was born in like Vancouver, like Women's Hospital, and then I lived in Surrey for like 5 years, moved up to the States, so I lived in Seattle, like Tacoma. Shout out Tacoma, baby.
Where? You were?
Yeah, I lived in Tacoma.
Across the
My
border.
brother was born out there. Then we came out here for elementary school, so I did all my elementary school in like Delta. So I was like a Delta Surrey kid, and then my parents split, and then I started living in Richmond more. So that's when I got in tune with more of the Richmond scene and everything, going back and forth and everything. When I was Surrey boy for life. Surrey boy.
What's up, man? Rep your hood, bro.
Yeah,
Straight
bro.
up.
But it's funny though, because like all of our different boroughs or different cities finally coming together, you know.
That's why we call the Ave, is because we all grew up on different avenues, different hoods, but we all come together for the city.
I like that.
We do it for the city, bro.
That.
We do it for the city, dog.
You know?
You guys, good vibes to you guys.
Yeah, bro. Love.
But yeah, I gotta hear this music, and
when these cameras turn off, we'll run you.
No, of course.
Yeah, man, this was blessed. It was
blessed, bro.
No, thank you so much.
That was I mean, no disrespect to the other people we interviewed, but that was one of my favorite interviews.
That was a great interview.
Shout out Soul Trap behind the camera. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said it. I knew he was there.
Yeah, our boy from our first interviews there. Shout out CJ, Soul Trap.
The homies, man.
No, it's all love.
Which just dropped today, episode 1. If you haven't, go check it out already. Link in bio, all that.
I already seen it.
No, straight
Bless. What'd you think about it?
I mean, I watched it early because you sent it to me, or Flair sent it.
Flair sent it, right?
Yeah, Flair sent it. I'm like, yo, give me a visual of what I'm gonna look like.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Like I said, this is my first time.
And it was completely different than what you saw.
It was a little different, but it's cool, man. The vibe, what I was looking for was who's doing this interview.
Yeah.
It wasn't even an interview. We're just talking,
chopping it up.
Yeah, man. The homies, we gotta do it again.
Well, shit, man.
Of course.
Bless. Thank you for coming on the show, bro.
Definitely, man.
It's been a good time. Everyone go check out Borna, bro. Instagram.com/Borna.
Drop it.
Yeah, drop it. It'll be linked in the bio.
Straight up, link in bio.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Bless.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
That's a wrap.
Yeah.
That's a wrap for.
Yo, thank you everybody for tuning in. Episode 3 of
4.
Thank you everybody for tuning in. Episode 4. Thank you everybody for tuning in for episode 4 of In the Cut. We are blessed to have our day ones all around us. The whole studio is low key like all our day ones right now. So big shout out to everybody here. Big shout out to Borna for coming through.
Big shout out, bro.
Big shout out to the team. We are actually growing every single episode. I think this is why this is one of our favorite episodes, because we came correct this time, and I feel like this is where our flow is finally. We're catching our flow now too, because again, this is our first season and we're learning as we go, and then every episode's getting better. So stay tuned for more. See y'all later.
We out.